These elections have the potential to reshape national policies and influence international relations. Resilient and sustainable future for all. The Middle East in turmoil, the Israel-Hamas conflict. This region has been a focal point of geopolitical tensions for decades, with or basic necessities. Hospitals are overwhelmed with the injured, and the death toll continues to rise, painting a grim picture of the humanitarian crisis unfolding in the region. The situation remains highly volatile, with tensions also running high with Hezbollah in Lebanon. The involvement of Hezbollah adds another layer of complexity to the conflict, as it opens up the possibility of a broader regional war. The border areas between Israel and Lebanon are hotspots for skirmishes, further destabilizing the region. This conflict has significant implications for in mediating and facilitating dialogue between the conflicting parties. The humanitarian cost of this conflict is immense. Civilians are bearing the brunt of the violence, with many displaced from their homes. Refugee camps are swelling with people seeking safety, and the conditions in these camps are often dire. Access to clean water, food, and medical care is limited, exacerbating the suffering of those affected. The international community must prioritize the protection of civilians and ensure access to humanitarian aid for those affected by the conflict. Humanitarian organizations are working tirelessly to provide relief, but the scale of the crisis requires a coordinated and sustained effort. It is imperative that all parties involved in the conflict allow for the safe passage of aid and support the efforts to alleviate the suffering of the innocent. Syria, a nation still grappling with instability. For over a decade, the country has been embroiled in a devastating civil war that has left its cities in ruins and its people in despair. The conflict has not only destroyed infrastructure but also shattered the lives of millions. Syria remains a nation mired in conflict and instability. The ongoing battles between various factions have created a landscape of chaos and uncertainty. The streets, once bustling with life, now echo with the sounds of gunfire and explosions. Despite reports to the contrary, the Assad regime remains in power. The government, led by President Bashar al-Assad, has managed to hold on to key territories, but at a tremendous cost. The regime's grip on power is maintained through a combination of military might and strategic alliances. However, the situation is far from stable. The constant threat of violence looms over the nation, with frequent clashes and skirmishes disrupting any semblance of normalcy. The instability has made it difficult for ordinary Syrians to rebuild their lives. Israel has intensified airstrikes on missile storage facilities within Syria, raising concerns about a wider conflict. These strikes are part of a broader regional power struggle, with various nations vying for influence in the war-torn country. The ongoing civil war and the presence of various armed groups contribute to the instability. Rebel factions, extremist groups, and foreign fighters all play a role in the complex web of conflict that ensnares Syria. Each group has its own agenda, further complicating efforts to achieve peace. Millions of Syrians remain displaced, both within the country and as refugees in neighboring nations. The mass exodus has created a humanitarian crisis of epic proportions, with countless families living in overcrowded camps, struggling to survive. The humanitarian crisis in Syria is one of the worst in recent history. Children in particular have borne the brunt of the conflict, with many losing their homes, their families, and their futures. Aid organizations are working tirelessly to provide relief, but the needs are overwhelming. The international community continues to search for a political solution to the Syrian crisis. Diplomatic efforts, including UN-led peace talks, aim to bring an end to the violence and establish a framework for rebuilding the nation. However, the path to peace is fraught with challenges. Progress has been slow and difficult. The negotiations are often stalled by deep-seated mistrust and conflicting interests among the parties involved. Each step forward is met with setbacks, making the prospect of a lasting peace seem elusive. The situation in Syria serves as a stark reminder of the human cost of conflict and the urgent need for peace and stability. The resilience of the Syrian people in the face of such adversity is a testament to their strength, but the world must not forget their plight. It is imperative that the international community continues to work towards a resolution, ensuring that Syria can one day emerge from the shadows of war and rebuild a brighter future. Nature's fury, flooding in Kazakhstan and beyond. Natural disasters have wreaked havoc in parts of the world this year. Severe flooding in Kazakhstan has caused widespread damage, affecting multiple regions. President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev has called it one of the worst natural disasters in the country's recent history. The flooding has displaced thousands of people and caused significant damage to infrastructure. The disaster highlights the importance of disaster preparedness and the need for effective response mechanisms. Globally, there have been numerous other natural disasters in 2024. Cyclones, floods, and volcanic eruptions have caused significant damage and loss of life. These events underscore the increasing impact of climate change and the urgent need for global action to address this pressing issue.